So here's a different video than something I'd usually do. I'm upgrading the old sealed beam headlights in my car to new LED ones, but there's a problem. Watch this. When I turn the lights on, nothing happens. So these lights came with instructions and these plugs that you can switch where they're hooked up, and it didn't make it, well, it did make a difference, but I'd either have only high beam or low beam, and it turns out that my car has a switching ground, which is really common for old Japanese cars. So then I picked up this harness from LEDUR, the same company that made the lights, that changes the switching ground to the switching 12 volts. And you can see that it uses relays to switch them. And we'll see if this will work. So now I've hooked up that harness that I bought on Amazon, and you can see that it's attached to just the normal socket where the light plugs in, and it gets power from the battery, and it's just temporarily hooked up to the frame for ground here and here, and then your lights just plug into the harness like that and that. So now let's see if it works. By the way, you don't need to use the second plug for your headlights. You just use the one that goes right into the whole harness, and the light, it just plugs into that. Now I'm going to turn on the lights. So here's low beam, which is working, and then high beam, which also works. So that's a pretty good solution for your car if it has a switching ground. So now all the wiring has been ran. You can see that the power is going to the battery, and here's a ground connected there, and everything's tucked away underneath this headlight cover. And you can see the same for this side. There's a ground ran, and it's tucked away. Now, here's the headlights. There's the low beam, and here's the high beam. Here's the finished product. See the lights on low and then high. Here's what it looks like in the night. This is the low beam, and there's the high beam. You can see it makes a big difference versus the old sealed beam lights. For those curious, my car is a 1987 Nissan Pulsar 5-speed. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was of some use to somebody.